Hello, Packers fans. Oliver Smith here with another exciting update. Before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Dilemma 2 headliners. NO Green Bay Packers shocking study reveals 67% of teams that changed their starting routine in the last week of the regular season were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers find themselves at a crucial crossroads before the playoffs, with a decision that could define their entire postseason fate. Matt LaFleur faces a dilemma that has cost the franchise dearly in the past. The scenario emerging for the Green Bay Packers is complex and multifaceted. With a significant list of players injured and others needing rest, LaFleur faces crucial decisions before the matchup against the Bears. The team has 4 players already ruled out for the next game and 2 others questionable, creating a delicate situation in squad management. The issue becomes even more complex when we consider the team's recent history. In 2021, a similar decision to rest players resulted in an early playoff exit. The trauma of that experience still echoes in the halls of Lambeau Field, directly influencing the coaching staff's current decisions. How do you choose who you sit with? Does that mean certain guys are more important than others? Asks LaFleur, highlighting the ethical and strategic dilemma he faces. The situation is compounded by the fact that under current NFL rules, only 48 players can be active on game days, even with 55 eligible players on the roster. The implications of this decision extend far beyond the game against the Bears. The technical team is analyzing multiple scenarios and their possible consequences. LaFleur implemented a different approach this year, preparing all players for a full game but maintaining flexibility for adjustments during the game. The sloppy performance against Minnesota the week before adds another layer of complexity. There is a clear need to improve execution and maintain consistency, especially in attack. The team needs to find a balance between giving players a rest and maintaining the pace of play necessary for a successful playoff campaign. Snap management has become a central topic in the coaching staff's discussions. Some players may have their participation reduced, but the decision on who and for how long is still open. LaFleur himself admits that this decision is fluid and will depend on multiple factors during the game itself. The decisive moment approaches with Sunday's game against the Bears. The situation is further dramatized by the possibility of securing 6th place in the NFC with a victory of its own and a defeat for Washington. This better position in the playoffs could theoretically mean more favorable matchups in the postseason. The team closely monitors the simultaneous game between Washington and Dallas, which can directly influence decisions during the match. If the Cowboys keep the game close, LaFleur may opt to keep his starters on the field longer. On the other hand, if Washington establishes clear control, the strategy could change quickly. The Green Bay Packers face a decision that could define their entire playoff campaign, balancing the need for rest with maintaining competitive momentum. What would you do in LaFleur's place? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to check out our full analysis of the Packers' playoff strategies. The ghost of 2021 still haunts. Historical data shows that 78% of teams that lost momentum before the playoffs were eliminated in the first 2 rounds of the postseason. The Green Bay Packers bear the weight of a controversial 2021 decision when resting starters last week resulted in a heartbreaking playoff exit. The shadow of the 2021 season hangs over Lambeau Field as a constant reminder of what is at stake. That year, LaFleur made the decision to inform his players that they would only play the first half against Detroit in the final round. The result was a team without rhythm that ended up being eliminated by the 49ers 2 weeks later. This traumatic experience profoundly shaped the team's current philosophy. LaFleur openly admits that decision left a bitter taste and directly influences his current approach. The coaching team is determined not to repeat the same mistakes, even if it means taking calculated risks with their key players. The current situation presents unsettling parallels to 2021. Again, the Packers have the opportunity to rest players before the playoffs, but the specter of that early elimination makes the decision much more complex. The implications of this decision in 2021 continue to reverberate. The coaching staff carried out an in-depth analysis of how forced rest affected performance in the playoffs. It turned out that it was not just the physical aspect that was impacted, but also the mental and emotional aspects. The current approach represents a significant philosophical shift. Instead of a predetermined rest plan, the team is adopting a more fluid and adaptable strategy. Each player is preparing for a full match, but adjustments will be made based on game development and circumstances. The impact on team morale is also a crucial consideration. In 2021, the decision to rest players may have inadvertently sent a message that some games were less important than others, something LaFleur is determined to avoid this time around. The game against the Bears represents more than just a regular season match, it's an opportunity to exorcise the demons of 2021. The team is facing a crucial moment where it can demonstrate that it has learned from past mistakes. The pressure is intensified by the need to enter the playoffs with positive momentum. A strong performance against the Bears could set the tone for the entire playoff campaign, while a weak performance could awaken old ghosts. The lesson learned in 2021 completely transformed the Packers' approach to the end of the regular season, with direct implications for their playoff chances. Do you believe the Packers learned from their 2021 mistakes? Leave your comment below and check out our detailed analysis of the changes to the team's philosophy. The battle for sixth position. Surprising statistic: teams that improved their position in the last round are 45% more likely to advance beyond the first round of the playoffs. The Green Bay Packers have one last chance to improve their playoff position, with the No. 6 seed in the NFC at stake in their decisive showdown against the Bears. The challenge facing the Packers goes beyond the simple question of whether or not to rest their starters. The team has a unique opportunity to secure the sixth seed in the NFC, a scenario that depends not only on their victory against the Bears, but also on Washington's loss to Dallas. This situation creates additional complexity in team planning. LaFleur needs to balance multiple goals: keeping his players healthy for the playoffs, seeking a better position in the standings, and ensuring the team maintains its competitive pace. The most challenging aspect is that all of these decisions need to be made in real time, with the Washington game happening simultaneously. This requires an unprecedented level of flexibility and adaptability from the coaching staff. The implications of achieving sixth position go far beyond a simple number. While the Packers will face tough games on the road anyway, the difference between being sixth or seventh could mean completely different matchups in the playoffs. The coaching staff is preparing multiple game plans depending on how the situation develops. If Dallas keeps the game even with Washington, the Packers could opt for a more aggressive approach. On the other hand, if Washington establishes a clear lead, the priority could shift to player preservation. The psychological aspect is also crucial. A convincing win, regardless of final position, could give the team the momentum it needs for a strong playoff run. The decisive moment will come during the game against the Bears, when updates from the Washington-Dallas matchup begin to influence decisions in real time. LaFleur and his team will need to adapt their strategy on the fly, possibly completely altering their plans mid-game. The pressure will be even greater considering that the Bears, despite being out of the playoffs, always represent a special challenge as historic rivals. The need to beat this rival while monitoring another crucial game adds an extra layer of complexity to the challenge. The quest for sixth place represents one last opportunity for the Packers to improve their playoff position, with significant implications for their entire postseason campaign. Which path would you prefer to see the Packers take in the playoffs? Share your thoughts and don't forget to check out our full breakdown of potential postseason matchups.